Good afternoon, San Diego. I'm your host, Amilya Robinson, and welcome to another episode of Getting Down, Dirty, and Political, where we get into the nitty-gritty, the controversy, but most importantly, the uncomfortably necessary of everything going on in the world, especially when it comes to race. Now, before I get started, I want to give a huge shout out to all my longtime followers out there who have been with me ever since my days as a poli-sci professor over at SDSU. Go Aztecs! Alright, on to today's topic. I wanted to talk about something a little different, something you might not necessarily associate with politics right away, and that is mental health. I think this is an especially important topic to bring up right now, considering we are going through yet again another pandemic. So I thought I'd have a Q&A session with you guys today. So without further ado, let's get to the questions. Beach Lover 99 asks, what is one of the most interesting aspects of mental health in racial and ethnic politics? That's a really great question, and something that immediately comes to mind, actually, is a New York Journal article I found the other day that I believe was written by Emily Powell, and she had made a couple of really interesting points. One of them being that basically these Black and minority youth are stuck in this sort of horrible cycle where they're living in concentrated poverty in areas with high levels of crime. I mean, you can almost never feel secure that way, economically or in regards to safety. And then on top of that, it can be very difficult to receive any kind of help out of those situations. And I think those things combined can really take a toll on an individual. Really great question, Beach Lover 99. Thanks so much. All right, on to our next question for the day. Dog Mom 65 asks, how does mental health impact African Americans today during the COVID-22 pandemic in 2030? Another really great question here, and I think when you just take a look at things from a statistical standpoint, the disparities become pretty clear. A PubMed article I found the other day that I believe was written by multiple highly educated medical professionals was talking about how these individuals are at a much higher risk for COVID than non-minorities, and that this can create stress on a multitude of levels. On the one hand, you've got individual stress because you've already been constantly concerned over how the media is portraying you. But now, because of COVID, you have this stress on an interpersonal level because you're having to worry about your family members whose lives and whose jobs may be potentially devastated by COVID. I think those things combined can really increase mental health issues exponentially. Another really great question, Dog Mom 65. Thanks so much for asking. On to our last question of the day, coming from Lucky Larry 85, who asks, what in your opinion, or based on your research, is one possible future impact on the Black community after the pandemic is over? Wow, you guys are really coming through with the tough questions today. Tough, but good questions. And I think, Larry, I want to stick more on the positive side of things with this question. What I'm really hoping for is the government will hopefully pull through and improve their mitigation of economic inequality, because I know it has improved somewhat since the last pandemic, but I still believe there's more that we can be doing. And this also reminds me of Sharita Golden, who wrote an article for the Johns Hopkins Medicine website, and she had been talking about how implementing better and fairer housing policies, as well as increasing employment opportunities, can only benefit these marginalized communities in the long run and help to better prepare them for future occurrences like the pandemic. And I have to wholeheartedly agree with her there. I really do. I also think that our standard of living really has a lot to do with our overall mental well-being and mental health. Really great questions today, guys. Thank you so much for asking. I had so much fun answering them. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. This has been Getting Down, Dirty, and Political with Amilya Robinson. Tune in next time, and I'll catch you later.